get into our first break. Corey comes across the board and says, "Who are the Bills going to take?" I believe the Bills got the 30th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, right, Tori? I mean, they're pretty
I do
far down
believe,
there.
yeah.
So
Yeah, because they play, yeah, because they lost in the AFC title game to
yeah,
KC.
yeah, they did. Uh,
They're they're a team that I think honestly can draft for luxury. They're sitting pretty good offensively. They're sitting pretty good defensively. If anything, I could see them potentially maybe either taking another wide receiver or shoring up their offensive line, maybe taking another lineman. There's a couple of offensive linemen I think that really got downgraded that could fall down towards the bottom half of that first round,
right.
or somebody looking to trade back into the first round so they get that extra fifth year option on a player. I could see them dealing out of there for an earlier second round pick to go with their own second round pick. So, I mean, there's a multitude of ways that they could go with that pick, but I honestly think that the Bills, just the way that team is built currently, have it's literally a luxury pick for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say as a luxury pick. I mean, they did pick up a receiver in free agency. I forget who they picked up. Do you remember the name off the top of your head? But I thought they picked up a receiver.
No.
Uh, but uh, but I think at that 30th overall pick, if they stay there, like you said, I think Travis Etienne is going to drop down to that 30th pick, and we see in the NFL, pretty much every team has a two-headed monster at the tailback position, and the Buffalo Bills, adding a player like Etienne would definitely stir up that offense even more. And I think he would thrive in that offense with the big arm of Josh Allen and just the receivers that they have. He's going to have a lot of room to play. And oh yeah, and then Corey also says they picked up Emmanuel Sanders as receiver. That's who they picked up. So that is where I think they will go in the draft if they stay there. So Tori, do you think they're looking to trade out of that 30th spot?
I think if you're smart, you do. Especially if you're going to have a team that's desperate enough that wants another first round pick. Then what they're getting, the big part of that is that extra year for that fifth year option.
Right.
So teams will tend to overpay for that type of position. So I think, yeah, if trade out if you can. Um, a lot of times when you're drafting that late in the first round, you're probably not picking up an impact player. Somebody may have slid that they might have their eye on. So yeah,
Right.
why not trade down and pick up those picks?
Yeah, and so Wyatt is our draft expert. He should be on later tonight here in about an hour. He has church on Wednesday nights, but Drew comes out and says that Etienne needs to go to his Cardinals. The Cardinals are at the 16th pick, and do you think Etienne goes that high?
No, no. There again, with the devaluation of running backs in the league,
Right.
they're the way it is now. You'd have to be a Barry Sanders type running back to even potentially go that high in the
Even
league
then, I
this
don't think
year.
you would even
And,
go. Yeah.
and I was just gonna say, yeah, I don't even think then at this point, just the way the league is these days, um, I don't even think he would go that high at that point. If Barry Sanders were to come and play today, he'd be an early second round pick.
Right. So with the Cardinals sitting at 16, do you think they go receiver? They go offensive line, defense? Like where's the biggest holes for Drew's Arizona Cardinals?
I'm I'm gonna be honest. They need a lot. I think they still need offensive line help.
Right.
Running back. I don't. They've got Chase Edmonds, and then they picked up somebody. They picked up a bigger name running back as well. So I was
Yeah,
like,
I don't
wow,
remember.
because what's his face went and signed with the Raiders. I don't know. The guy was my second round pick in fantasy last year. But anyways, they
That
signed
guy.
somebody else too. But Chase Edmonds is probably going to be their lead back anyways. I don't think that they go running back first round. Don't need to. Chase Edmonds is a good to potentially great running back
Right.
because there again he can run, he can catch, he can block. So those running backs that do all three are very tough to find.
Yeah.
Drake, yeah, Kenyon Drake is the guy that signed with the Raiders.
Yeah. And then James
So
Conner was signed with the Arizona Cardinals as well.
that's who it was,
Yep.
James Conner. So yeah, I don't think that they go for running back. Connor's hit or miss because he can be pretty injury prone. But I
Yeah.
think in a split role like that, that'll actually help him where he's not going to be the lead back. He will be the backup back. So I don't think Arizona takes a running back. Maybe if they do, they take one maybe the third or fourth round.
Yeah.
You're not going to at that point. You're gonna try to shore up. They've got a hole at cornerback now with Patrick Peterson gone.
Right.
So I think they probably go if J.C. Horn is on the board. I think they probably go J.C. Horn.
Yeah, and I think the defense, even with the subtraction of Patrick Peterson, they're still a very stout defense on that side of the ball. But I think the Cardinals kind of had that luxury, kind of like what you said about the Buffalo Bills. They can pretty much draft to add stouts to their team, and so why not go wide receiver? I mean, there are going to be some really good receivers dropping down to that 16th overall pick because teams are going to be jumping up to get those quarterbacks like what we're going to talk about here in a tad bit. So, I mean, Larry Fitzgerald did retire, right? If I'm not mistaken, and so why not draft somebody to replace him or build to replace him?
Because you have DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
2, you have Christian Kirk.
Right.
3, you have Andy Isabella. That is still probably one of the top 3 receiving cores in the NFL.
Right.
It's not really there again. Receiver. This is a very, very, very deep receiver class again this year. You do not have to take a receiver early to find a really good receiver. So I think they probably look at the defensive side of the ball. Even with their signings, their defense is their weakest link, if you ask me. Just because I love JJ, I'm a huge JJ fan, but JJ's hurt a lot.
Right.
So they have a chance to be. They're going to be a boomer bust defense this year. They are going to be terrific, or they are going to get torched. And that's where I think they need to probably go cornerback, solidify the back end of that defense, and hope that front end holds up and that front 7 takes care of business.
Yeah, well, and on the flip side of that coin, the Cardinals did sign AJ Green from the Cincinnati Bengals as well. So, I mean, they, like I said, they do have wide receivers there, but why not add depth here? So, before we get to our first break here, Tori, I saw one more question come across the board before we get into the rumor mill talk. Corey also comes across the board. Corey, thank you for being active in the chat. He says, do you think the Buffalo Bills will make it back to the AFC Championship next year?
I think they have a great shot. They have a great shot to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl next year.
They do.
They have a great young team. They have a good young core. They are solid all around, offensively, defensively. They have a lot of younger guys that are on still rookie contracts that they've got about a 2 or 3 year window here yet where they can make a whole lot of noise in the AFC.
Yeah, but the problem with that is the AFC is so stout. I mean, you do have the Buffalo Bills, and you do have the Kansas City Chiefs. Back-to-back Super Bowl like appearances. But let's not sleep on the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens. Even who else do we got here? Miami. They're up and coming too. I mean, the AFC is stout. But Tori, I do agree with everything that you said. They have a 2 to 3 year time frame here where they really need to capitalize because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to keep getting better and better and better, and soon they are going to be that destination place, kind of what like Tampa Bay is now. Where these aging superstars will take pay cuts to go ring chase and play with a great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes and a great head coach with Andy Reid, and it's going to be the place to be, I think. So, guys, with that being said, we are going to take our first little break. On the other side of the break, we are going to address the rumor mills that are going on in the NFL. We are going to talk some Dallas Cowboys and Kyle Pitts. And then we got the Miami Dolphins coming up. We got the Panthers, the Patriots. Rumor mills are flying, and this is, we are less than 24 hours till draft time. So, buckle this seatbelt. We are going to talk about the rumors and see if there's any validity that they could be true whatsoever. So right here on the Man Hour, guys, we'll be right back after the short little break.